Give me my theme music.
What is up, Buff Nation, and welcome into Buff's News Weekly Live and our Saturday afternoon show. Appreciate you for coming along. Appreciate you if you're watching this later on. Welcome in to all of the Browns fans who may be wanting to find out more information about Shedeur Sanders later on. As always, hit that like button while you're in here. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. And today, of course, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what went on this weekend, what is happening, and how might this affect Colorado, Coach Prime, Shedeur Sanders, everybody going forward. And I know there's going to be a lot of Buffs fans that are going to be coming through this live stream not happy, okay, worried, concerned, and I'll just say you have every right to be. You do. You have every right to be. Right now is just not a great time. A weekend that was supposed to be an awesome time for Buffs fans everywhere has pretty much turned into a nightmare, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it had to happen this way. I really wish we could find out exactly what happened. We'll get little bits and pieces here. We'll get some anonymous sources that I'm sure will come out. We're already getting some news people who are just being random as far as what they're saying goes. And none of it really makes sense because they're not answering the tough questions. They're ignoring the obvious. So I want to go through all of that. I want to talk about all of the things that have been said about Shedeur Sanders this weekend. A lot of stuff being said, of course, by fans everywhere. And in my entire time of watching sports, I cannot remember a situation, and somebody in the chat, please let me know. Please let me know if you have another situation similar to this, but it's just very crazy that all of this happened the way that it did. And the biggest thing that I want to say is that's been very shocking to me and kind of putting, but I also think, I wonder if it's just the echo chamber that is the country we live in today. Because the amount of people that celebrated Shedeur falling, the amount of people that I talked to that have no clue about football in general, but then I hear them say things like, and I'm not kidding you, okay? So just for an example, this morning I was out with my wife, living in a small town. We run into a lot of people we know, and everybody knows that I'm a Buffs fan, and so they all just ask. They're like, this all happened because Shedeur is too cocky and he is too much of a narcissist and he's too much of a showboat and he deserved every single ounce of what is coming to him. And the question that I threw back at them, which by the way, stopped them in their tracks and made them go, oh, which again shows that I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody pays attention. And I think, again, in this day and age, people hear something, right? And because of the ability to freely share information, again, I think part of this is the social media era that we live in. Anybody can say whatever they want without consequences, and it can be mass shared amongst the world. And then that information or opinion all of a sudden becomes fact. And I asked them, so here's what I asked them. I asked those people when they said that, I said, did you know that there was a player that got drafted before Shedeur who had multiple sexual assault allegations? Did you know that there are a number of NFL players right now who are playing in the NFL who have had the same issues, who have been caught on camera assaulting females, assaulting people? And I'm all for second chances. That's not my point. Because notice I'm not saying their names specifically to say like, hey, this should never happen. They should never get another second chance, blah, blah, blah. But where is that same energy for those players? Please, somebody enlighten me and tell me where the energy is for what is happening with people saying that. With people across the world, and not everybody. Again, we obviously Buffs fans, Shedeur fans, probably now Browns fans, a lot of them are going to defend Shedeur, as we should. But what about everybody else that seems to be celebrating the fact that he fell? Because anybody who says, oh, Shedeur is just not that good, I'm going to show you as well today that that's not the case. I've heard that he's a check down merchant. It's the only reason he had such a high accuracy. Well, guess what? I'm going to compare him to two of the top quarterbacks also taken in this draft, and you're going to see that that's not true. And a lot of you already know that. But for anybody who comes and watches this later, I hope that you understand that and see that. So I wanted to discuss that straight off. I wanted to discuss it with everybody. I wanted to, put out there my opinions and feelings before getting into the chat. I want to get into the chat. I want to get your opinions. I know that everybody's hurting. I know that there are red flags going on right now. I know there's a lot going on right now. But my biggest question just has to be, why do people celebrate this guy's downfall? What did he do? He wears a hat backwards. He throws up a watch. He has confidence. Does he have some arrogance to him? Yeah, but how does that make it okay for, somebody to wish horrible things on another human being when that's the only thing they did? Like, Shedeur assaults somebody. Yeah, sure. He would deserve all the hate. He gets accused of other things. Sure. The kid has literally been the most clean. And if you know anybody in the Boulder area, if you know anybody tied to the team, if you know anybody that's truly his teammates and not just somebody who got cut the first week of Prime being here and threw a little hissy fit, not one of them has a bad thing to say about Shedeur Sanders. Because when it comes down to it, when it comes down to being in the trenches and having somebody that is fighting for you and has your back, Shedeur Sanders is the epitome of the guy you want next to you in that foxhole. I remember people throwing a fit about Shedeur Sanders running to Travis's aid when he got cheap shotted in the CSU game. Did Shedeur do something stupid and try and poke somebody's eyes out? Yeah, he did. But are we going to then just pass on the fact that a player nearly tried to kill Travis and end his football career at the same time? Is one make the other right? No, but I also understand what happened in the heat of the moment. You've got everything going. You've got one of your best friends, your teammates, getting possibly their career ended. At the time, it felt like it was, that could have been it. Like, that's seriously how bad it could have ended up. Like, Travis is lucky it didn't end up that way with how vulnerable he was and what happened. And so you look at all that. Again, I don't see what's wrong with that. I want that in my quarterback. You look at all the other stuff. Okay, so if it comes out that the Giants gave Shedeur a playbook and he wasn't prepared, okay, then come out and say it. Just come out and say it. Enough with this anonymous source, the rumor mill of this. Just say it. The GM should come out in a press conference and say, this is why we didn't take Shedeur Sanders. They're not going to say it. And so now we just got to speculate, and we've got to allow other people to speculate. On top of that, somehow a frat boy gets Shedeur Sanders' private number that was only given to NFL executives and prank calls the kid on his biggest day. And nobody's asking or questioning how that happened. Nobody's asking or questioning how an NFL franchise somehow gave his number out or had it stolen or whatever happened there. Like, why isn't that one of the lead news this weekend? Like, it seems like it's a joke at this point. Like, people are making a joke out of it on social media that this happened to Shedeur. And do you know what Shedeur does as a result of that happening? Nothing. He has the classiest response and moves on. Again, proving what kind of mature player he was. And let's be honest, everybody in the chat, please, 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 tell me, but when it comes to his response when he finally did get drafted, how many of the other players in this draft have said something to the extent or sounded pissed off that teams passed him up? And here is a guy that was supposed to go in the top 5, top 10 of picks, heck, even the first round at minimum, and he ends up in the 5th round. And when he gets picked, does he throw a tantrum? Does he look dejected? Did he look dejected at all this entire weekend? No. He said every step of the way, it's God's plan. I'm going to be okay. It's not a big deal. Everything will work out. When he gets picked by the Browns, who, by the way, looked like, they just found out their dog had been shot after they picked him. And what does Shedeur do? He celebrates. He thanks the Browns for taking the chance on him. He celebrates. He thanks everyone he's supposed to be. He's ecstatic, and he goes to work. He goes to work. And again, everybody wants to point at, the backwards hat, the comments he says, what he does. Like, I think that is absolutely hilarious. And I know there's a couple people, and Edie Games, appreciate you with this. He's still just 23. And some people are going to say, oh, he's an adult. He's an adult. Yes, you're an adult. But it's been proven that your brain doesn't fully develop until you're like 24, 25. He's still a kid. He's still a kid no matter how old he is. All of these kids in the draft are, which is, again, why I don't hold a lot of this stuff against them. I really don't. And so I don't have any doubt that he's going to go in, be a professional, put his head down and go. I will say I'm ecstatic that Coach Prime is not following his kids. I'm ecstatic that they can go and be their own people. And I want to see what happens when they can just go put their head down and work. I will say my recommendation out of all this, the one thing I will say, and you guys, again, please, 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 please. You guys, tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm right. I'll gladly listen. But I do not think the Buckies should go follow Shedeur at all. I don't think the Buckies should follow Shedeur at all. They need to move past the whole, use Well Off as a tool at CU, make it a full-time CU channel, following Coach Prime. Great. That to me seems more of a recruiting tactic and a great way to show off the program. But there is no reason to go and film Shedeur at the next level. It benefits nobody. The only person it benefits would be the family and their ability to make money off of those videos. But there is no reason to go and film Shedeur doing anything for the Browns. At this point, Shedeur, go be your own man. And the funny thing is, I think Shiloh's kind of already done that. I've noticed that in the last year. If anybody else agrees, in the last year, that it seems Shiloh has been a lot less a part of what's going on. He's kind of just put his head down and worked, kind of just done his own thing, kind of become his own person, not really, had the camera follow him around as much. And I think that was smart of him. And I think whatever happens, Shiloh needs to go be his own man. And if I'm being honest, guys, I think both kids want that. I think both kids want to be their own people. I really do. I think he wants to be his own. Go do your own thing. Let CU be CU. Okay. And the further we can get away from all of this, the further we can get away from what happened, they can be their own people. CU can be their own thing. the more we can focus on CU getting better and the more that Shedeur and Shiloh can be better overall. Okay. And so that's what I think. And I'm assuming that the Browns are probably going to tell Shedeur that too. I think that's going to happen. So that's just something I wanted to throw out there as well. So let's get back in the chat. I know you guys have been talking a lot. We got 400 plus people in here. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Hit that like if you like what we're doing at the channel. But there's a lot of stuff here. I'm pretty confident the look on the Browns exec's face after picking was a direct result from a conversation the owner had with them, most likely with the pick Shedeur or pack your bags. I kind of alluded to that on social media as well. To me, this screams like an owner overriding a GM. GM wanted Dylan Gabriel. GM said, you need to take Shedeur in the 5th round. This is stupid. And, you're on thin ice is essentially what it is. So, there you go. I feel you, Russ. But Bucky also got clearance from the commish to record. Jake, I am not saying he didn't get clearance. I'm just saying it would be smart for them not to. I think Bucky can film private workouts only. And even if that's the case, like I said, I think they should just detach. Let him go be his own man. Let him do stuff with the team. I agree with recent events. Just let Well-Off focus on Colorado. Yeah, make it 2 different entities. Who cares what the Sanders do that doesn't affect their play? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But it does affect what people think, buddy, and that's the problem. That's why all of this seems to have happened for whatever reason. So why give them the fuel at this point if that's what's going to happen? Better to be a Ball or a Sanders. I mean, the Balls, if anything, I felt like the Balls were way worse than the Sanders are, and at least they got picked in the 1st round. NFL Network wouldn't allow it anyway. CU roster going up in flames right now. TK, here's the thing, and I keep telling people this. The portal's closed now, guys. The portal closed late last night. Colton Hood got into the portal right before it closed. And to just really quickly touch on that, we'll go into portal stuff more here in a little bit. But to go more into that, like it's already come out. Colton confirmed, Pastor confirmed. They were going in a different direction than Brandon Hood at running back. Marshall Faulk wanted to go in a different direction. And, they're a package deal. They're not like the Wade twins. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be honest. Please. I know Colton should be an absolutely unbelievable corner. But with the roster limits, do you see a top program grabbing all 3 Hood brothers? That's all I'm going to say. Colton Hood deserves to be on any team in the country. Colton Hood is worth any team in the country. So I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to tear down Colton Hood. It is an absolute massive loss losing Colton Hood. But I just wonder if a top team is going to be willing to keep them all 3 together. Because you saw what happened with Keaton Wade. Destin Wade leaves. He ends up at a much lower level program. Now, should Keaton Wade have gone? No, because if he wanted to play with his brother, he'd be playing at a much lower level. That's not better for his career. So I hope that there is something out there for them where all 3 can go. For somebody saying like an Oregon, all that, like, here's the thing, guys. There are roster limits, and most of the big programs out there right now, guys, have full rosters or are over the roster limit. There is a roster limit, guys. We don't know yet if they're going to create a waiver to allow people currently on the roster to stay. But there are roster limits. So guess what? Rosters are going... It's why we saw all of the walk-ons hit the portal, guys. There are going to be less opportunities for players who are not impactful at the higher levels. So, to say like they're going to easily go to this, they very well could. They very well could. So a program has to say that Colton Hood is so darn good that we will take your brothers right now and have them eat up 2 roster spots. So that's where we're at. Going back to this, East Coast Kev, it's a tall order to compete against Joe Flacco, Watson, Pickett, Gabriel. Good luck to him. I think he's better than all of them. The only one that he might have trouble with is going to be Joe Flacco, because Joe Flacco's a veteran who's been there, who knows what to do. But could Shedeur very well end up as the backup? Yes, but here's where I'm going to agree with you in a second, East Coast Kev. The key word in there is compete. I don't know if the Browns are going to let Shedeur compete. I don't know. That is what sucks about the situation. Great one. There are not two Hood brothers. Trent Hood also left the program. We had 3 Hoods on the team. So you might want to double check on that. You had Trent Hood, Colton Hood, and Brandon Hood. Trent Hood was a linebacker on Colorado. He also hit the portal. But I believe he was a walk-on. I'm worried about this. Will Shedeur get a fair shot? Because it's going to take Shedeur being perfect. It is going to take Shedeur playing perfect. Does he have the skill and capability to do it? Yes. So that's where he has a shot. But they put him in a situation where he's got to go out and be the absolute very best. Like, this has to be, and I'm going to put this comparison out there, and even though they're very different quarterbacks, it's going to have to be Russell Wilson's situation. If you guys don't remember, Russell Wilson, drafted by Seattle, they had just signed Flynn, Aaron Rodgers backup, right? Was he Aaron Rodgers or was he with New England? He was with New England. But a guy they paid a ton of money to that was like, you're the starter. We have to make it work because we paid so much money for you. And Russell Wilson went out and had the most perfect preseason. Like Madden level, like Madden on easy, one of us running up the score every game in the preseason, that it was like you would be stupid not to play this guy when it is obvious beyond belief that he should be your quarterback. So that's what's going to have to happen, I feel, with Shedeur for him to get a fair shot and a fair shake in Cleveland. And I hate that. I hate that. $300 million backup sounds crazy. It's Watson. Well, D-Nice Watson is out with an injury. And somebody already said that. Like, Watson's not coming back this season, guys. So that's why they went out and got Flacco. That's why they were supposed to go and sign a free agent quarterback. That's why they brought in Kenny Pickett on a trade, just to have some depth at quarterback, knowing that he was out. Shedeur will get a shot midseason, most likely due to an injury, and he will probably win the job by dominating. And that's true, too. Like, where he's going to have to get a little bit lucky, with Flacco being as old as he is, you got to hope that just goes away. So there's that, too. Yep, he took that starting job. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel's not a slouch. He just took Oregon to the Big Ten playoffs. I'm still hoping for Shedeur. I agree. I'm not saying he's a full-on slouch, but he's not that. He's pretty even with who Shedeur is as a player. That's why it just confused me that they took both of them. There's no reason to take Gabriel. There's no reason to take Shedeur when you took Gabriel. It's weird to me. The whole thing is weird to me. Peace to the fam. Shedeur will be the starter in Cleveland for sure. That was all palmed. Rumors are 2 didn't get drafted day 1, and Javian Thomas jump shipped. Yeah, no. Javian Thomas got some good money. Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, the quarterback room, good. Rookie minicamp's going to be fire. I was going to say, I can guarantee you now that Cleveland is going to be on Hard Knocks. If Cleveland is in that group that can't say no to Hard Knocks, Cleveland will be the subject of Hard Knocks. I mean, who wouldn't want to see what's going on behind the scenes there? 5 quarterbacks in that room? Yeah. If you look at the Browns have a better team than Tennessee, they do. They have a better roster than Tennessee. It's just dumb that they wasted a pick on 2 quarterbacks when they could have taken a lineman to continue to help them. Linebacker could is his cousin, but you're right, 3 Hoods. Yeah. And then all 3 left. Yeah, rookie minicamp is a must watch. I didn't know Flacco was still in the league. Mobile versus pocket passer. The O-line will determine who starts week 1 and who finishes as the starter. That's good news. That's a good point too, D-Nice. I like that. It's great because they filled a lot of holes and got more picks next year with that first round trade. And Brandon, that's fine. But why do that and be in such a great position and then take 2 quarterbacks when you've got 3 on the roster already? This is my point. They could have had Trav and Shedeur. Remember days ago when the rumor came out that the Browns could have Travis and Shedeur and people were going nuts like that would be the most unbelievable draft ever. Cleveland wins the draft. All of that. They legitimately had an opportunity to do that. And they decided against that, which to me is just crazy. That's what it means. Like, that's insane. And if it was the case, I would really like an NFL GM or coach to put their money where their mouth is and release the information. Release a recording of that, leak it, have somebody privately leak it. I mean, you leaked his phone number, for heaven's sake. Go ahead, New York. Leak what happened to get everybody off their backs. Huh? Interviews must have been the issues for the Browns. Why draft Dylan before Shedeur? They took the best player on the board. Why not? Because when you have other stuff available, there's plenty of that whole best player. But just saying, we lost 15 players and got like 4. Not necessarily true. I'll talk about what we lost and what we gained. You got to remember that a ton of the players that left are actually walk-ons and they had to leave. Okay. Flacco is a walking mummy in the NFL. Shedeur is the Browns quarterback and somehow found a way to build the Browns. Yeah, the Dylan Gabriel pick was an unnecessary pick. It was not smart. No GM will tell you that it was smart, especially with multiple quarterbacks. Getting multiple players at other positions, yes, great. Getting multiple quarterbacks in a draft just automatically screams what the heck is going on. Go look at Washington when they drafted RG3 and Kirk Cousins. It makes the other quarterback feel a certain way. It makes your fan base feel a certain way. It's all sorts of bad. Yeah, Colton Hood left because his little brother got told to hit the portal. Yeah. There's nothing you can do about that, guys. They can tell Colton Hood all day long, you're going to be a starter. You're going to be one of the best players on our team. But when the guy says, I'm only here if my brother's here, I get it. I liked Brandon Hood. I wanted to see what he could offer. Something's going on in that running back room. Something's going on in that running back room, guys, that we don't see on a regular basis. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel going to get the RG3 treatment. Yeah. I, in fact, just watched the clip of RG3 just recently recalling that happening and what went through his mind and all of that stuff. And just the most weirdest things. Here's the thing, Kai. The players and the fans know who they want. They have eyes. That's the whole thing that I'm trying to say is, like, if you have true eyes and you actually watch all of Shedeur's play, you cannot tell me that he's not a good quarterback. Like, all the people that'll throw out stuff about Shedeur not being that good, he's not really a draftable quarterback, he's overrated, all this, they'll go off of stats. They'll throw out the fact that, oh, he threw a ton of, like, behind the line of scrimmage passes. Well, that's a joke. That's a joke. So, there's that. Gabriel got picked and not one of his teammates posted him. Cleveland is excited for him. That's true too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. People that talk about Shedeur's talent know darn well they wouldn't pick any of those dudes ahead of him in their fantasy teams. That's true too. Telling Brandon hit the portal makes no sense. Welch is injured. Yeah. Dallin's still there. They're obviously actively trying to add a running back. There's a lot to that, guys. There's a lot more to that, and we can't fully speak on that. We can only see what we see. They drafted Shedeur to see if he can beat everyone out for the job while paying him no money is pretty much what it is. Okay, so I wanted to talk really quickly and just do a comparison. I wanted to talk really quickly just to look at specifics. Again, this is more for the crowd out there that are like, hey, Shedeur is a check down artist. The high completion percentage means nothing. That doesn't make sense to me, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So let's talk about it. Okay. So deep, medium, short, and behind the line of scrimmage. Okay. So, Shedeur is a short yardage quarterback. Can anybody tell me? Oh, you guys can't even see it. My bad. Shedeur is a short yardage quarterback. Okay. Behind short yardage, 37% of his passes, 24% behind the line of scrimmage. 16% are medium, and deep is 15.6. If anybody knows how the NFL works compared to college, right? And this is Shedeur. If anybody knows how the NFL works compared to college, the NFL is a short throw league. The NFL is about decision-making and accuracy. It is not the Wild West. It is not the college game where you just huck the ball down the field and throw for thousands and thousands of yards. Okay? The fact is that 1,500 of Shedeur's yards and 500 of it behind the line of scrimmage. Okay? So he's half and half too. His yardage comes from half and half. And his accuracy, completion percentage, is not that bad on the deep when we compare it to other wide receivers. Okay? That's where it's at. So you've got all that. Obviously, the grades are one thing. I know a lot of people don't love that, but I just wanted to look at the stats just to look at actually, okay, what percentage of his throws are there? How's his completion percentage? Okay. And how does that compare to others? So let's go Cam Ward. Okay. So 15, 16, 37, 24. Cam, 16, 25, 33, 18. So Cam does do more medium by a lot, by 10%. But the deep throw, almost identical. 15.6, 16.5. Less than 1% in between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders for deep balls. And completion percentage, 45% for Cam Ward deep, for exactly 45% for Shedeur deep. So they're identical. When you really dive into the stats and look at the plays, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are actually pretty identical. The difference between the two is Shedeur didn't take as many sacks Cam Ward didn't take as many sacks as Shedeur. And you got to say that part of that, a small part, is, yes, Shedeur trying to hold the ball and get something done. But also part of that is how bad the line was compared to Miami's line and compared to what Cam Ward has had. So there's that aspect there. Now let's compare, okay, Dillon Gabriel, okay? So Shedeur, 15, 16, 37, and 24 for the attempts percentage, right? Dillon Gabriel is more of a short throw quarterback than even Shedeur was. So anybody who wants, and I know I've had Oregon fans tell me that Shedeur is a check down artist. Dillon Gabriel is more of a check down artist than Shedeur is on stats alone. 25% of his throws, a quarter of his throws were behind the line of scrimmage with Oregon. 41% were short, and he only threw deep 26%. Okay? Look at this. Like 37 and 24. Like if you're going to call Shedeur a check down / short throw artist, look at Dillon Gabriel. On top of that, I want you guys to look at something. Look at the completion percentage on the short yardage. 77% short yardage throws for Dillon Gabriel. 90% on those same throws for Shedeur Sanders. So please tell me, based on that and based on knowing the fact that the NFL is a short throw league, what tells you that Dillon Gabriel is going to be that much better of a quarterback? Like, Don't Give a Damn has it right here. He's a project. Could he succeed? Yes. Has he shown glimpses of what he could do? Yes. But, like, come on. Just look at their body of work. Okay? 67 grade, 74 grade on the short, 82 and 72. He's just the better quarterback right there. Keith, appreciate you coming in with the super chat today. NFL Draft TV ratings record high for a 5th round quarterback. Huh? Cam who? The NFL got what they wanted out of this. That's for sure. If we want to go conspiracy theories, there's another one to add to your conspiracy theory list. I want a quarterback that's going to take what's given. And that's no slap at anyone. I'm just saying, Brandon, you're not wrong. That's what I don't get with these people who are like, he doesn't throw it deep. He doesn't get completions deep. If you got a guy available for a check down that's wide open and can run with the ball, give him the ball. Sorry for yelling. That one's going to get me. like when people say that, it's just absolutely hilarious. Kevin, I literally said that some of those sacks are on him. I literally said that. On top of that, by the way, if you watch this channel at all regularly, you'll know that most recently, before the draft started, I even said that part of the reason he took those sacks, and again, I went back, I watched every game again these last couple weeks. Part of the reason he took those sacks is because if he doesn't do something in those situations, the team's doing nothing. The team's doing nothing. A lot of those plays are 3rd and long, 2nd and long, and we need to get something going or we're not getting the ball. And so, yeah, he runs around like crazy because he's like, I need to get something to happen. He wants to do that. Now, that's going to be the thing he needs to improve the most at the next level. Improve. Absolutely. That's his one negative. But all of the other things are there and the intangibles are there. You can't tell me that that can't be taught to get out of his game. Like out of everything that you want to nitpick about Shedeur, you cannot tell me that that is probably one of the easiest fixes. You can't teach size. You obviously can't do much with arm strength. I get that. Accuracy, decision-making, those are hard to overcome right away. And those are both things that Shedeur does have. Yeah. Anybody out there, by the way, who wants to say that, oh, all the sacks are on Shedeur, blah, 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 blah. I also want you to say in the same sentence, though, that he is one of the most accurate and one of the most best decision-making quarterbacks when it comes to putting the ball out of his hands. And by that, I mean, when he throws the ball, he knows what he's doing with that ball. He's not putting it into bad situations. Does he hold it too long sometimes? And does he try to stop interceptions from happening? Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid that he doesn't force the ball. Yes, because that's what we need is another gunslinger out there that just throws the ball like crazy and is a turnover machine. But hey, he didn't take sacks, guys. He didn't take sacks. Like, yes, throw away the ball. That's one thing. But he was trying to get things done. That's not a lie either. That's not a lie either. That's true too. Brady uses slot receivers more than any other quarterback. Check down passes, open up the long passes. Oh, yeah, you go look at Brady. You want to talk about a check down merchant? The GOAT is the epitome of a check down quarterback. You know who else is a good check down quarterback, guys? Should I talk about the second GOAT of the NFL? Huh? You know, the quarterback that couldn't throw the ball at all down the field and yet is a Hall of Famer by the name of Peyton Manning? Like, people who are all on this whole, like Tyler Shuck, this whole thing that they picked him because he's a gunslinger. He's got a cannon for an arm. I've watched him play. The dude cannot make a good decision to save his life. Does he got arm talent? Yes. He cannot make a good decision to save his life. He made some of the worst decisions ever. And we want to be mad about a check down merchant? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees to an extent. Okay? Tyler Shuck is about to team back up with his tight end who has been in the NFL for 6 years. No idea who that dude was, but I heard he's kind of like Dart. Go watch some of Shuck's tape. In fact, if you guys want to go see some real good tape, go watch Florida Ole Miss this year. Ole Miss fans will tell you how they feel about Tyler Shuck from that game. He threw 3 interceptions in a span of like a minute of play time. Browns running the ball this year. Hey, they got Quinshawn. They got Judkins. Like, overall, like the Browns were on their way to having a very good draft. They got Judkins. They got Fannin for a tight end. Okay, I like it. But you're going to waste a 3rd round pick on a quarterback who's probably not going to do anything. Or if he does, that means you wasted a 5th round pick at that point. Like, that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. Dude had trauma from all those sacks. He was doing what he needed to do to make a play. You got to understand, ain't no one in this quarterback class will ever last with that CU O-line. They would be broken. The toughness is insane. Like, that's the other thing that people aren't going to, My problem with Shedeur is he doesn't check the ball down enough. James Winston interception statistics is crazy, but everybody blazing Shedeur. Shuck is not very good. I mean, that's just an understatement. That's why you draft players high, Russ, because of the physical tools, not their minds. You do it for all of it, okay? Obviously, if you can't throw the ball at all, yeah, you're not going to get drafted. But to say the most accurate quarterback in the history of college football is not worthy, that's a little bit different. Yeah, Tyler Shuck's combine throw should have just ended his chances of being drafted. In fact, after the combine, they said he was a fourth or fifth. He was a fourth to sixth rounder just based on that. It's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I think Ollie's still on the board. He was last time I checked. I haven't been watching the draft stuff. Jamarcus Russell, the strongest arm in the history of the draft. I hope you were like being sarcastic on the last comment, Deals. Did I just not catch that sarcasm of like, that's why you draft players high because of the physical tool and not their minds? And then you've got Jamarcus Russell, who had the biggest cannon for an arm in like the history of the NFL. And everyone thought for sure he was going to be successful. And he does what he does. Because that's what I'm saying. You're kind of proving my point. D-Nice, Drew Brees made Mike Thomas millions off that slant route, and Shedeur will eat in the NFL. D-Nice, I love that. Okay, Ollie got picked. Who did Ollie go to, by the way? Shrug tried to pull a no-look pass. I truly believe only 3% of the NFL teams care about winning. Here's the thing. I think a lot of those NFL teams just have an issue with being, outshined. Like, by the way, did anybody listen to Kellen Moore's press conference? Did anybody listen to Kellen Moore's press conference, by the way, for the Saints? Okay, Deals. You were being sarcastic with that call. Feel free to put a little S at the end when you're like, oh, draft physical traits over, ability and knowledge. I mean, Kellen Moore in his press conference says the reason they took Tyler Shuck, and he literally says in his press conference, if you guys have not seen it, go watch it, by the way. But what he says is that they picked Tyler Shuck because of what he did at his pro day, what he did because he competed at the combine, because he competed at the senior day and didn't sit out. If that wasn't a direct shot at Shedeur Sanders, I don't know what was. And the fact is, Shedeur played in the bowl game when that game was pointless. And a lot of people have been saying over the last 48 hours that Shedeur Sanders hurt his draft stock by playing in that bowl game. So which is it? Like, seriously, which is it? Like, that just goes to show me, Kellen Moore, you are not going to be a successful coach in this league if you are going to seriously pick something based on that, especially being a quarterback yourself. You're going to say that out loud. Demysticles, I absolutely love the RJ Harvey pick, by the way. I love the Broncos draft. They added some really good offensive talent for Bo Nix, added an unbelievable corner, which I can't believe they got. I mean, that's rich get richer as he gets to play opposite of the defensive player of the year. So that's my little Broncos thing. Philly never misses in the draft. Okay, here's the thing. Philly just won the Super Bowl. Philly is the only team that truly will take the best players, and they will not let this stupid narrative get in the way. And had they ended up picking Shedeur, it would have just been totally like golden with the fact that it's like they don't need a quarterback, but they're going to take him because guess what? He's the best player. They just take the best players, and they go on to win the Super Bowl. Absolutely insane. Cam Ward didn't throw in the combine and only played the first half of the bowl game. Yeah, but, he's just the number one overall pick. Philly going to repeat. As long as Jalen Hurts is good, they are probably gonna repeat because the rest of the NFL just is stupid. The Shedeur mess is not at all about Shedeur. These people are blackballing Coach Prime and sabotaging CDU. Okay, so I want to really quickly. Hey, did this really happen? Did LeJohntay Wester get picked by the Baltimore Ravens? Did that happen? Please tell me that happened. Wester to the Ravens. There we go. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Now, that is a freaking team for LeJohntay to go to. That is a freaking team for LeJohntay to go to, and I am glad he got drafted. Shiloh got picked too? Shiloh, wait, so we got 4 draft picks after all, baby? Let's go right now. Let's go. Where are all those people at? I was wrong, guys. I thought with Shedeur dropping, we might not see anyone get picked. But, oh, baby, I'm loving this. I am loving this. With the 203rd pick in the NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens just got a dude. They got a weapon. Okay? Man, is he going to do good in Baltimore. LeJohntay is going to be open all day. It's going to let the other people just do what they do. Oh, man, Baltimore, that was the smartest thing you could have done. That is the most perfect place for LeJohntay to go. Absolute perfect. Absolute perfection. Man, now I'm convinced Mike Tomlin is an idiot. No, what are you talking about, Keith? They got a quarterback. They're going with Will Howard. He's going to be their starter. Man, that is such a good pick, guys. That is probably the most perfect place for any Buffalo to go. The most perfect place for a Buffalo to go. Man, guys, let's prop it up. Hit the like button if you're happy when LeJohntay goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, I can feel better. I think a lot of us should be going out and getting Ravens jerseys. That Wester jersey is going to be hot. I'm telling you. LeJohntay Wester is a Baltimore Raven with the 203rd pick already. Man. Well, and Keith, they don't have Kenny Pickett anymore. Kenny Pickett's on the Cleveland Browns as well. There we go. Just hit that like button, baby. Wester going. Now, who said Shiloh got picked? Did he really get picked? I don't see anything on that, so I'm going to assume he did not get picked yet. Okay, Shiloh did not get picked. About to say. But LeJohntay getting picked, that's 3 buffs in the draft. Okay? And a lot of us said that 4 buffs max were getting picked. So if one more gets picked at the very end, maybe a Will Shepard at the very end, how many picks are left? My favorite of the other 12 is LeJohntay, hands down. Oh, agreed. Yeah, this is where it's going to get very interesting here at the very end of the draft. Yeah, we still got a whole nother round, guys. Right? Yeah. Oh, we got the 7th round still to come. We got a lot coming. But I absolutely love that pick, LeJohntay Wester. Jimmy and Will next, maybe. I think our receivers will go right at the end. You go to get that contract. You go so you don't have to fight for the undrafted free agent status and pay these guys more. That's the one thing people don't realize is sometimes undrafted free agents make more than a 5th, 6th, or 7th rounder. So it's absolutely more beneficial for the teams at this point to draft the player than it is for the player to get drafted sometimes. That's just the way it is. So I'm so excited. Let's just hope that Jimmy gets drafted. I want Jimmy to be drafted as well. Jimmy deserves it. Jimmy deserves to get drafted. But that's awesome. 6th round pick for LeJohntay. Way to go, LeJohntay. And hey, for all those people out there that said this draft is going to prove that Colorado is not the place to go, I think this may just flip that. Because when it really comes down to it, I think the whole reason that what happened to Shedeur happened is because of his connection and being Coach Prime's son. I think we'll find that out very quickly. It has nothing to do with Colorado. Travis got picked second. LeJohntay did get drafted after all. Now, if we could get one more player drafted, I will feel much better about the weekend as far as Colorado is concerned. I still feel bad for 2 overall, but as far as Colorado's concerned, guys, we need to chill. So there's that. Okay, there is that. So really excited for LeJohntay. Oh my gosh, so happy. That helps this weekend for sure. That's a turnaround, guys. Admit it. Admit it, you feel a little bit better now. Great teams know how to pick the best players. The Ravens are a blue-collar organization. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles took like a Will or a Jimmy. You know? Let the Eagles get richer. Let the Eagles get richer. And by the way, the Eagles have 2 picks coming up in this round. They have got 2 picks coming up. You don't think they take a flyer on one of those and be smart? Heck, if I was the Eagles, I would have been probably drooling to try and get LeJohntay there had he fell. And the Ravens not taking him. So be on the lookout for that. Graham Mertz got drafted. Does CU have more players drafted than Florida State? We're going to have to look at who got what drafted, because 3 players drafted is a good year. That's a good year, guys. That's a good year overall. And let's see what happens next. I've been really keen on the NFL for a while, but now I'm excited. I'll watch all the boys this year. Yeah, we're all going to keep an eye on the boys. I'm excited to see what happens, especially with LeJohntay, because I love watching Baltimore. I am a big Lamar Jackson fan. Big Lamar Jackson fan. I wanted my Broncos to take him before that draft. I was all about Lamar Jackson. When he started falling, I thought we might have a chance. Baltimore did what they needed to do. Now I got 3 different teams to follow. Hey, could be more here soon. Could be more here soon. So there's that. Okay, guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for hanging. Let's talk a little bit portal. Okay, let's turn our attention to the portal now, because I know you guys want to talk about it. We obviously already touched a little bit on the Hood brothers, what happened, why it happened. Graham Mertz got drafted before Ewers. We've all said that Ewers is not the guy that people think he was. That the NCAA college football, by the way, video game shoot looks like a joke now. They should have just gone with Travis and they would have looked so smart. Putting those 3 players on there was absolutely embarrassing and hilarious. Once Wester ran that 4-4, he was good. Oh, for sure. Steelers drafted Will Howard, apparently. Yes, they did draft. That's going to be their quarterback. We desperately need running back depth. Yep, and I think that they're going after running back. There's a reason that Marshall Faulk said that they were going in a different direction with the running back room. So I'm going to assume that Marshall Faulk knows better than I do. I didn't play running back at a Hall of Fame level. I'm going to allow it, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens as far as that goes. Yep, Jalen Wester hit the portal. That, I'll be honest with you guys. Kylan Salter is having a great spring, and he was ahead of Jalen Wester. And Jalen Wester's tweet, by the way, he was completely honest with what happened. He was completely honest. He has 1 year left, guys, is what he said. And so Wester had 1 year left and was not very high on that depth chart at this point. Okay. So that's what's going on. And this is the big thing. I heard so many people that I see complaining today about the Brandon Hood stuff who hated Coach Flea. Hated Coach Flea and everything that he did. But that's the way it is. Of course we didn't want to lose Colton Hood. Of course we didn't. But again, I'm going to tell you this right now. Let's pay attention to what happens to the Hood brothers now. Because I don't see an Ohio State, a Georgia, a Bama, an Oregon, a USC picking up Colton Hood because it means you have to pick up the other 2 family members. That's 3 roster spots. if only one of them's going to play for you for sure, and you've got depth ahead of those guys, that's going to be hard to take them on. Okay? Exactly. I love it. And Wester he was honest. He said, I have no qualms with Colorado, but the writing is on the wall. I am not beating out these two guys in front of me right now. I need to go play and get tape and actually play. That's exactly what it comes out to. Yeah, Salter's been playing miles better in only a few weeks of play. Exactly. So to everybody who's like panicking, it's the end of the world. Colton Hood, yes, sucks. Sucks to lose. Okay? It does. Oh, Hood's going to Georgia Tech. Got my money on it. I can see that. I can see that. A little bit different if they do. Yeah, see, this is what D-Nice, this is what I think will happen. Yes, they'll probably go to another ACC or a Big 12 school. Okay? They probably will. That makes sense to me. Kylan Salter has surprised me beyond belief. Okay? The dude has absolutely been balling out. Right? Wester Brothers got drafted. He's got to go get playtime. And he loves Colorado for it. The Westers love Colorado. They're not going to hold this against them in any way. I think we have DBs that are ready to step in even after C. Hood leaves. Well, we added some, and we've been talking to more cornerbacks, guys. I remember a lot of people saying, like, well, why are we going after these top corners? Like, they're not starting. Oh, now there's a spot. There is a spot open in the cornerback room to compete for sure. Go get that North Texas DB. I like that. Did the other Illinois State guy get picked up? Because I know that he was one of the best out there. I would have loved it only made sense for Colton to stay. But if he really needs to play with his brother and his family that badly, that's what it is. I hope that it does not hurt him. I really do, because I love the kid and I think he's excellent. I really do. I really do think he is absolutely excellent of a player. Even coach said a couple more DBs and running backs needed. Oh, they knew it was coming. They knew it was coming. Jimmy Horn. Did Jimmy get Jimmy? Let's go. Let's go. Jimmy Horn drafted, baby. Let's go. See what I mean? See what I mean? This weekend is not going to turn us down now, guys. It's completely like this is it, guys. The proof is in the pudding, baby. The proof is in the pudding. The problem was not Colorado. The problem is not Coach Prime coaching other players. The problem is Coach Prime's connection to his children and the children's connection to their father. That's it. That is now what the black ball was, because Travis gets drafted at where he was supposed to, and now LeJounte and Jimmy Horn are both draftable wide receivers when people said they wouldn't be. 4 guys have gotten drafted to the NFL from Colorado. And we said going into this, we've talked about it, 4 was, I think, the minimum that I said would get drafted. I thought up to 6 could maybe get drafted. We'll see. Will Shepard's still out there. BJ's still out there. We'll see. Shiloh's still out there. We get 2 more. We hit my 6. We get my 6. But this is huge, guys. This is huge. You come to Colorado as a playmaker, you're going to get drafted. You come to Colorado as a playmaker, you're going to get drafted. So everybody out there freaking out that this weekend is the end of Colorado's program needs to change their tune right now. Needs to change their tune right now. Needs to change their tune. Now, as far as what's in the portal, I'll get it for you guys, okay? 2025 transfer portal. Because we now have the confirmed portal. There's nobody else entering unless they're a grad transfer. Let's see who's still available, okay? Let's see who's still available and who is still there. Okay? Are you guys ready? Because here's what's going on right now. Okay, this is the portal right now, 24/7 rankings. Micah Hudson's still out there available. Okay? Keelan Marion is still out there, by the way, but the fact that he hasn't taken a visit to Colorado and he's still doing tours, probably not a chance. Emmanuel Carnley is out there. TJ Ferguson's out there. Hakeem Williams, it just doesn't look like he's going to end up with Colorado. Here's the big one, guys. AJ Halsey's still out there. AJ Halsey's still out there, and I think he's probably the best player in the portal. Okay? I think he's the best player in the portal. Let me go check Twitter to see if Halsey, what his plans are and what's going on. Because, guys, you got to realize something. I think a lot of this weekend disrupts college football. It's not just Colorado, by the way. It's all of the teams out there are going to be somewhat disrupted this weekend with doing different things. A lot of the coaches are being with their players who are getting drafted. Okay? So there's that. And I do get that. Don't give a damn. Yeah, he very well could be going to Miami or LSU. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we push. Okay? Let's see what happens. We've got an offensive tackle in Cam Pringle, Mark Hamper, Jonte Cook still out there, Amari Campbell, Andre Roy Jr., Kamal Bonner, JB Nelson, inside O-line, Carson Lee inside O-line. Here we go. Gregory Smith is another one that I've heard people still say they want that. Okay? There's the Texas kid, Brian Nelson II. Davon Mitchell's still out there for tight ends. AJ Penna, who I absolutely think is going to be a great player. Okay? Absolutely think he's going to be a great player. He's still out there as an edge if you want to add him. Okay? And I told you guys, linebacker is the position that is most deep. Watch this, guys. Linebacker is the deepest position in the portal right now. Still available. Amari Campbell, Kamal Bonner, Andrew Simpson, Sterling Lane, Shea Taylor, Michael Thiessen, Jaden McDonald, Jack Sagowski. Harrison Taggart is still out there, by the way, guys. Harrison Taggart is still out there. And this is a big one, Keith. I appreciate you jumping this in. Graduate transfers will be entering the portal between now and June. Okay, now in June, grad transfers will be entering the portal, and there will be some impactful grad transfers ready to go to fill a couple of spots. Running back question. Isaiah, I appreciate you. Anthony Carey, Branson Robinson's still out there, by the way. He never took a visit to Colorado. Shamar Brown is still out there, but probably going to be committing soon. Kendrick Raphael, Jordan Simmons, Kylan James, and here we go. DeKalen Taylor, by the way, is in Colorado as we speak right now, by the way. DeKalen Taylor is in Colorado as we speak right now, visiting with Colorado. You don't think he could very well commit after this? Okay. There's a lot of stuff available. A lot of three stars, high 3-star players that are here. But DeKalen Taylor, somebody to look at. He is in Colorado right now as we speak. Okay. So there's that. You know, as far as corner goes, Emmanuel Carnley, Brian Nelson is who I want. I would love to have Brian Nelson. That would make the Colton Hood loss feel a lot less. Aurelius, the funny thing is I'm getting both. I'm getting people who are like, I don't care about the draft. Tell me about the portal. I don't care about the portal. Tell me about the draft. We're doing both. We're doing both, baby. So if another player gets drafted, we'll talk about that. I did just spend almost an hour talking about Shedeur, talking about the draft, talking about everything that just happened. Okay? Absolutely love it. Absolutely love what's happening with the draft. And hey, as soon as Will gets taken, let me know, guys. We'll celebrate that. I have a feeling we're going to still see some more Buffs players taken. Okay? Levanta, I don't think is going to be draftable. No offense to him. He's going to have to work his way probably from a practice squad. Cam, and Craig, guys, we're also forgetting about Cam. I think it's crazy that Cam's going to be probably an undrafted player. And as Coach Prime said, undrafted, Cam's not going to fall off of that roster. He's not. He is not going to fall off that roster. Okay, where are we at? We're still in the 6th round, or are we almost done with the 6th round? Okay, we're almost done. Jimmy Horn, 208, LeJounte right there. Baby, that's so good. That is so good. Yeah, LeJounte, I said that. Yeah, Cam's probably going to end up being that. Gosh, could you imagine if Baltimore takes somebody like a Cam Silman Craig to go there? Just as a flyer. Just as a flyer. But there we go. We get 6 players drafted and the rest of undrafted CU portal about to go crazy. See, this is more like it, guys. I think everybody can split the idea that, this draft was going to cause harm to Colorado because it was a very specific situation. It would have been different if Travis got blackballed, if Jimmy got blackballed, if LeJounte. The fact that they got drafted when a lot of people were saying at the beginning, end of the year that they weren't going to be draftable. Like that should say something right there. Relationship with Ed Reed. Ed Reed knows about Cam. Well, yeah, Cam and Ed have a relationship. Ed could easily talk about that. Steelers need to get Cam. Panthers got McMillan and Jimmy at receiver. They're looking better. They're helping out. They're helping out their quarterback, Bryce Young. Jimmy versus Travis in the NFL. It's going to be interesting down there. But makes sense. So Baltimore still on the clock. I'm late. Had a softball tournament today. Is the word that Marshall Faulk told Hood he didn't want him? I find that hard to believe with only 4 running backs in the roster. Joe, there's something going on. We need to wait. My guess is Marshall is looking for something very specific and he sees it out there in potential guys. And I don't think, here's the thing, guys. I don't think that they straight up told Brandon Hood, you're not going to be on this roster. I think what was said was, by the way, you're going to be the 4th string running back and you're not going to be playing this year. I think that's what happened. Oh, here we go. Shedeur Sanders says that Denzel Ward and Kenny Pickett have reached out to him to talk to him already from the Browns. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it here with that. Appreciate you guys for hanging around. Been a lot of fun. We'll cover more stuff during the week. There's going to be stuff that's going to happen. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. Apologies. I'm going to be on vacation from tomorrow till Thursday. I'm going to have no computer, so I won't be doing any live streams between tomorrow and Thursday. And that's just where we're at. So, just so you know, if you need to follow me over on Twitter. If anything happens, I'll also post into YouTube posts if anything happens, but we won't have a live show until the end of the week, Friday. We'll do a live show Friday. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Appreciate you guys so much for coming by. Make sure you hit that like on your way out. Of course, you're subscribed. I appreciate it as always. You guys have been awesome, amazing. I'm glad that we could have this little bit of a therapy session and things could get better while we were live. Okay, things got better while we were live. So just agree. Okay, agree on that. So until next time, wait. Okay, Robert Longerbeam taken by Baltimore. Okay, so appreciate you guys so much. Hey, it was good talking with you guys. Be safe out there. We'll see you next Friday. For Buffs News Weekly Live, I'm Russ Dornish. Go Buffs!